can't lose. No, we can't lose.
Enjoy it while it lasts. Gambling gods, fickle bunch.
Oh, yeah.
So easily
We
affected.
have a shooter and a good one coming out for a new point. Get your bets down, ladies and gentlemen. He's a rolling point is 9, place 9. 9 a winner. Got a hot hand. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
They bet on absolutely anything. Don't make them prove it.
That you were never squad riding one of my favorite teams again, unless it was the Celtics, because the rest of my teams are trash.
It's true.
You're tuned in to Gambling with Good JuJu.
Welcome in, everybody, to Gambling with Good JuJu. Hey, before you listen to the rest of this show, why don't you go ahead, subscribe, follow, hit us up on the socials at Good JuJu Bets. You can get our gambling content guide. Is that what we're calling it? I don't even remember. Including episodes of the show, merch, and our viewing guide. That's what it was, our viewing guide. Now up on the website at goodjujubets.net.
Also, if you have a few minutes, leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. I'll be sharing these every once in a while here. So here's one of our recent reviews from Just Kador 73374. Refreshing show. Nice to hear new voices in the community, especially ones that put their kids ahead of gambling! 5 stars. So thanks for the review.
I'm glad they noticed.
Likewise.
My kids have not been left in an alley.
Yes. Yet.
Not yet.
Might get left in Albuquerque.
Well, we'll see. But no, seriously, thank you for the review.
Yeah.
I do
Thank you.
Put my kids in front of the show.
Yes. So do I. Well, let me just confirm that too.
All right, we got lots to get to today. We're going to dive right in. It's getting there, boys. We've had this podcast since the start of April, and woof. Turns out, now that we're in the fall, that summer period was brutal. Now that we're in this period, we've got college football conference season underway, NFL full swing, MLB playoff baseball, and now hockey. Woo. Give me NBA, give me college basketball, and our worlds will feel whole again. How excited are we?
Just more things to bet on.
Are you going to gamble on hockey?
Of course.
You going to gamble on hockey?
A little.
A little?
Yeah.
You did last year. Well, we got our guy Arvis.
Yep.
Shout out Arvis.
Shout out Arvis.
Yeah. I'm excited. I literally just feel like one more thing coming in to focus. College football is definitely full go now. So there's no crummy weeks left. There's going to be something every single week. MLB playoff baseball feels like baseball has returned. Where, for the last month we weren't betting it. And it feels like I'm almost having trouble keeping up at this point. So it was a good week, and it was fun to start gambling on some of those hockey futures, which we're going to get into here in a moment.
Yeah, we're not going to cover that now. Okay.
Well, first, let's do this.
All right.
Let's do our review of our interview with Jeff, because I thought that was
It was fun.
one of our best interviews we've done, for sure. He was very informative, and I took some nuggets away from that conversation that I kind of just wanted to point out for the audience and have a little bit of a conversation around.
Sweet.
So the first thing that I started doing was using my free bets on longer odds plays. Before, I tried not to do it on like a minus 150 or anything like that, but I would generally target something in the minus 110 to plus 150 range maybe. Something about the value of the wager itself. And since then, I've started targeting plus 400s or more. Now it's going to impact the win-loss record, but I had another good weekend as a result.
Yeah, welcome to the club. Been doing it for 2 years now. Been trying to get you guys on that ship for a long time.
Well, do you disagree, RJ?
No.
What do you
not at
think
all.
about free bet strategy now?
Yeah, totally.
Were you already doing this?
I mean, I was cashing them out for
Yeah.
about a year.
Yeah.
Because, you do the math and it's like, okay, I got a $10 free bet and I could bet it on a game and maybe win $9, or I could just cash it out for $7. It seemed like a no-brainer.
But with this new method,
But now with this, I will certainly be looking for the most valuable plus 400.
so I implemented it. Thank you, Nico Collins, for that plus 850, 100 yards alt receiving with a promo boost.
That was good.
Yeah. I'm also considering relaxing my stance on parlays, particularly on DraftKings, and I'll tell you guys exactly why. Prior to going to Las Vegas, I spent quite a bit of time focusing a little bit more energy and effort into hitting long shot parlays in the hopes of boosting my bankroll. Audience, here's a lesson for you.
It didn't work, huh?
July was the only losing month I've had this year.
Wow.
So that did not work at all.
Just a bunch of lotto tickets.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing it accurately or correctly. I wasn't using plus EV. I
picking a bunch
wasn't
of crap.
doing promos
Yeah.
exclusively. I was trying to get lucky before we went to Vegas. When I came back from Vegas and shortly thereafter, my DraftKings promotion exploded. So I went from $5, $10 maxes up to $25 maxes on like just token boosts, $50 maxes on money line plays.
Interesting.
Almost nothing on $10. There was like one or two things they would give me $10. Since I've been back to betting more diligently the way I traditionally have, my balances just in the last week, since our conversation with Jeff, plummeted back down to $5 for some things, $10 for other things, and then the only $25 thing I'm getting now is the money line thing. So my thought is, what if I'm looking to use DK to strategically potentially look into placing plus EV parlay bets in the hopes of still gambling somewhat efficiently and nursing the promo algo there back in my favor?
Interesting concept.
So I think I should try it, right?
Why not? I've been trying to, since that conversation, place a few parlays here and there on the books I can't bet on,
Okay.
and we'll see how that goes.
What if I stopped betting on DK anything but? Like, what if I took DraftKings off the market for anything that wasn't a promo bet or this parlay initiative, and I only placed all straight wagers on other books? What if I did it for how long do you think it would take?
Well, so I think they would want you to play into the like mature markets. I think they would find that advantageous, sides and totals.
More than parlays versus straights?
They certainly want you to bet on stupid parlays first and foremost. Yes.
I'm just trying to think how quickly and with the least impact to my bankroll can I try to game DraftKings. Because when those promos are running at the levels like Kirk gets, you can't lose.
Yeah.
If you do
That's
it,
awesome.
if you use a brain.
I get what you're getting at. And in like the heyday of my promoing on DraftKings, it felt like they were always trying to inch me up to the next bet level. And if you're just doing like $5 and $10 parlays, I don't think they would be like, let's get this guy $100 promo bet.
What if I'm doing 2-leg parlays for a full unit size
Yes.
without applying promo boosts to those, and
Yeah.
I'm hunting out plus EV plays?
I think they would appreciate that.
You think, and even if I'm not losing, it would still potentially.
I don't think they would even take into consideration how much money you're winning or losing.
Should
Good
I do
idea.
it?
Yeah.
Should I try
Why not?
this?
Why not?
All right. All right. So then,
Fun experiment.
So that's another
Science.
thing. So, this is gonna be hard. I have to first remember to not bet on DraftKings.
Or not. I mean,
Or
you don't-
not. Just
hey,
try to do some
just
two-leg
yeah.
parlays and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, audience, I'll check back in with you on that one.
I also was trying to skirt my limits by adding parlay legs to mixed bag between the books. Some of them were hip to it and some of them were not. So that's kind of interesting. So basically, like, I get limited to a certain amount on each book, right?
Right.
So some of the books I'd be like, all right, let me pop a parlay on this. And it was like, oh, I can bet it again. Let me change that leg to a different one. Oh, I can bet it again. But some books, MGM specifically, they're not into that. They knew what I was up to. It was just like, no more bets, sir.
I'm really starting to sour on MGM.
Yeah, it's over.
Why?
Well, first of all, they hacked his account today.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. You got locked out of your account. So did I. So did a ton of other people. That's not hacked.
Call it what you will. You think I got locked out of an account? I mean, have you read any of the Twitter? I mean, the guy who works for Roto Grinders has been locked out for 48 hours, and he says he doesn't have money in his account.
I took most of my money out because I can't bet there anyway. So why should it even be?
And then
Okay.
and then AJ logged back into his account today and didn't have money in it.
Yikes.
He didn't have money in his account?
No, I don't know how much he didn't
Is
have
that
in there.
because of irresponsible gambling?
No, that is, I had money in my account and now it's not there.
Huh. I would certainly encourage everybody to take their money out of MGM.
I'm not going to,
Yeah,
but
I have different strokes for different folks.
I did put my 2-step authenticator
Good.
on there.
2-factor authentication. Good.
I'm going to reduce my bankroll on there because it's a
Okay.
winner for me. So
Yeah.
it's worth, okay, let's say I have, 4 units in there or something.
Sure. What
It's
the hell?
worth the risk.
Yeah, totally.
To keep betting all their promos and stuff.
Yep.
So
As somebody that has no promos nor is heavily limited, I don't need to have money in my account that someone might steal.
right.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a few other points that I wanted to get to. Some of Jeff's most sound advice for promotional betting. One, use an odds screener. So we all do this. Every single bet we place, we check the lines against other books. Every single one of us belongs to every book available in the state of Illinois. Hold up. Do you belong to Circa?
Nope.
Do you belong to Circa?
Nope.
Neither do I. I don't even know
you're
if
a
it's
liar.
real or if it's fake. Well, I don't even know if it's real or fake right now.
Wow.
So
Hot
we'll
take.
see. It's only because I haven't had time to go download it. But until I do have time,
Rest assured,
I
I'm
do
pretty
not
sure
know.
it's a real thing.
I will tell you, sir, until I go verify it with my own eyes. I don't know that to be true.
Trip to Wauhegan.
Right. So first, use an odds screener. 2, you want to find your game or your market or whatever it is that you're interested in. And then you want to shop that line across all the available books you have. And then you want to use those boosts and you want to use those free bets on the types of offers on those books, on the plays that are then advantageous there. So if you go and you look up, let's say you're looking to do a 3-leg promo parlay on DraftKings. You can go in and you can start looking at the lines. Let's say you got a few games you like. You look at a line. Let's say it's a way worse number on DraftKings than it is on FanDuel. Pocket that play for a promo on FanDuel. Don't use that play there. We're not hunting what are you good at, what are you bad at. We're hunting exclusively, is this plus estimated value or is this negative value? So in those situations, you're first and foremost focusing on, is it a positive value play on that book? And that's why you're shopping across. Does that sound, did I do a good job there of explaining that?
I'm trying to follow along.
Yeah,
I talk too much.
perfect. Except I don't do that. That
You
doesn't
don't
apply to
line
me.
shop?
More live.
I
Of
line
course you
shop, but I don't.
Here's-
Whatever. If I like a play, I'm
Yeah.
putting it in a parlay no matter what site.
Here's the thing, and this
Don't
is,
care what the odds are.
I had blinders on to this, Peter, for a while. There is a big difference between a plus EV play and the best odds available, and I forgot about that.
Explain.
So basically, I was discounting any devigging. So just because somebody's 110 and everybody else is 115 doesn't mean minus 110 is plus EV.
Correct.
It's still
Right.
minus EV.
Right. But I would still consider that play if I'm a casual gambler.
Sure.
And I want to get into the game and I want to have a fun experience. If you're like, I do want to bet on Michigan.
Yeah.
And Michigan is minus 110 on DraftKings and minus 115 everywhere else. That's definitely a play I would be happy to put into a parlay and then apply the boost to it and have a good time with it. Maybe I'm sacrificing some EV
Sure.
for the expense of entertainment.
Yeah. As
But
long as you're applying the boost, it's going
applying
to be plus
the
EV.
boost. Right,
Yep.
right.
Unless it's a same game parlay on Caesars. That's the caveat.
Now-
Those are definitely not EV.
That brings us to another great point because he was then also talking about the crazy ninja Mike.
Yes.
When we asked what's the odds screener that you use, because I use BetStamp, it's good for some things. It's not perfect. He mentioned that, and then that piqued your curiosity, and you went looking.
Yeah, so I knew he had the devigger tool. I didn't realize he had like a whole odd screener and all these other tools, and it's really cool. So I dug in for the whole week. Man, I'm sold. It's amazing the thing is free, if I'm being honest. And after going through like the odds jam exercise and the odd shopper exercise, this thing is basically just as good.
Really?
Yeah. And it's got way, I mean, I shouldn't speak to like the absolutes here. It has more features than I would have even expected. And you can play with the settings to get it to work how you'd like because of that. And because there's multiple ways to devig stuff, it almost like the plus EV plays come out more conservative. And I'm even like spot checking that now, like with the free stuff on OddsJam and OddsShopper. Like for instance, they'll come in and be like, okay, this is plus 10% EV. And then I'll go over to Crazy Ninja Mike and it's like plus 1% or not even. Like not even better than fair odds.
And you like that.
I do.
Yeah.
Because I think it's more conservative.
Yeah.
So I feel more confident in just like firing away at his plays that come up on his screener as compared to the other ones.
How's it gone so far?
It's gone great. I'm
Really?
basically filthy rich. No, it's a volume thing, and I've done it for a week. So I'm going to do it for a month. We'll see how that pans out. But I will say I am almost emotionally already skipping ahead to, not to get like super nerdy, but doing like the Kelly criterion, just getting right into that and
Okay.
giving it an honest go. Because I'm still flat betting, which is not really fair to the whole thought process.
Just to add my 2 cents in there, I have started using that as well.
Like the fair odds.
The fair odds, yeah.
It's pretty neat, right?
And it's awesome. It saves me so much time because I make so many player prop bets on NFL like crazy, right? I can go through and I can check all the alt lines, right? Alt rush yards, alt receiving yards. They have every prop in there that you could ever imagine.
yeah.
And so I don't really pay attention to fair odds because I know, just from looking at it, every wager that I'm trying to make, the fair odds you're never going to get the fair odds.
Different
right?
thought process.
It's very rare, but if you want to just see what the alts are for every book and the odds that they have,
Yep.
it's wonderful.
Yep. See, you're showing up and being like, I want to bet on this guy.
Yeah.
I'm showing up and being like, is there anything that is plus EV, sir?
I want you, Kurt.
Yeah.
I want to do what you're doing because that's how I promo bet. Is
Right.
I go in and I'm looking for, okay, I've got something, I got to use an SGP on a game.
Yeah.
It's got to be on FanDuel. I want to be able to go in and look at the alt player props across those books and see. BetStamp doesn't give me that.
Yeah.
BetStamp will only give me their baseline. They won't give me alts. You're saying on one screen I can do this?
Yes.
And
That's
it's
huge.
awesome.
It is huge.
And it's free.
Yeah.
So for me, the odds screener tool, like you getting more plays, this is crazy to say.
Yeah.
I think I got enough action.
Right.
I don't know that I need more. Unless you tell me, Pete, it's a winner.
Yeah. Well, I think the mathematics will prove themselves out, but I'll make sure to complete the exercise.
I would love it if you figured out how to do all that stuff, the divigging, all
Yeah.
that jazz. That would be cool. I've tried it. It's just a nightmare for me, and it takes so much time to do. I basically, when I was messing with the Ninja tool,
Yeah.
you guys saw I would just do the boost.
Yeah.
Right. So I would take whatever play I liked, add the boost, and then calculate the EV.
Yep.
Right. You're going deeper, and I love that. I didn't go that route because it gave me a headache.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I'm still just like trying to figure out what the different devigging methods even mean. So,
Sure.
yeah.
I mentioned this to you earlier this week. I am potentially interested at some point down the path learning how to do my own modeling.
Yeah, that'd be fun for like
So-
super nerdy people.
Well, that's the only reason why. I've always said, because I worked in the field that was data analytics, the last thing I want to do is spend my free time doing data analytics.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, I'm not working anymore.
Well, I mean, you're putting together a
So-
podcast and
No, I'm doing other things. I'm not working in data analytics
Right.
anymore.
Fair enough.
So, as a result of that, I might get a little more interested. All right. So, Juice, anything else? Any final takeaways? Anything we think the audience should know here?
you know what? I would encourage everybody, let's say you've got the basics down, like you understand what a unit size is, you understand what vigorish is, like you're that far along. I would encourage everybody to try it and just read the instructions because it's not very intuitive because it's free.
And if they Google Crazy Ninja Mike,
Yeah,
they'll
crazy.
find it.
Yeah, Crazy Ninja Mike. Crazy Ninja Odds is the kind of more robust website.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a winner.
Well, overall, great interview guest. We
Yeah, it
hope
was
to get
awesome.
him on, more in the future. Talk promos. It's very, very important to our overall strategy, so we want to make sure to include as much as we can. Thanks to Jeff. Everyone check out his daily Megaga thread on Twitter at the DGen Boosts. And Jeff, if you're listening, please tweet us why it has 2 G's. I wasn't sure if you were going to do it. So
Ah,
I'm
you
gonna
nailed
have to
it.
do I thought you might cowered out based on what you said. All right, Kurt, Any excitement for hockey?
Other than I can bet it, that's about it. I don't really watch hockey till it's playoff time.
You do like watching playoff hockey?
I love playoff hockey.
People talk a lot about how
Freaking
good
awesome.
playoff hockey is.
Love playoff hockey.
I'll be honest with you. The regular seasons, they're similar.
Similar
They're
style
I don't
games, yeah.
understand the big difference. Like, I like watching regular season hockey games, and I love watching any playoff sport. MLB playoffs, way better than MLB regular season.
Yeah.
So that's certainly true as well. But I'm excited for the start of the regular season. I know I'm betting the Avalanche to win it all using the Caesars promo. Kurt, you said you mentioned taking the New Jersey Devils.
I'm taking the Devils.
I took the Avs simply because Caesar's lines were all garbage, and the odds on the Avs were the same, at least on Caesars, as they were other books. The Devils I had at minus 150 there relative to some of the other.
Minus
Why am I
150.
doing that? Minus 150 relative to some of the other books' lines.
Oh, I got you.
So if it's minus 1050, I think I saw on Caesars for it. I saw it or plus 1050. It's plus 1200 on other books.
I got you.
So what was you could have gotten it at a different time. I don't know what's going on. What was your stance behind the Devils?
I got it at plus 1,000, and I wanted to take a team that was young, up and coming, that scores a lot of goals. So
that was the promotion, right?
Yeah, so it's like you get a bonus bet for every goal scored in the first 10 games. So I was really looking for a team that had a lot of firepower and that could also win the Stanley Cup. So I went with the Devils.
The only thing I'm really actively searching at this point for is what Connor Bedard futures I can bet on before the season starts. That's the dude the Blackhawks got, generational talent, number 1 overall pick. He's going to be the dude.
Yeah.
They're calling him the next Sid the Kid Crosby.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe I just made that up.
Yeah.
I'll have to Google who that is.
Yeah, right.
He's
Me
the
too.
next Timu Solani. Anyone know that name?
Wow, this is getting
No, Timu. Come on, guys, real quick. NHL hockey 1994, best video game ever.
Very
No
possibly.
idea.
Very possible.
Blades of Steel.
Blades of Steel was outstanding. Do not get me wrong. I love Blades of Steel. NHL 94 is the greatest hockey game ever made. Prove me wrong, audience.
I thought we were talking about Blades of Steel. But we know how rock solid my memory is.
Anyway, let's real quick here on hockey. So I had a good year last year. I ended up plus 17 units. I was 5% ROI on the sport. And there are a couple guys I just want to give a quick shout out to. For those of you in the audience who are looking for some people to tail on action, I recommend both Matty Chucks and Arvis Petunovs. I'm sorry, bud. I did my best. I've gone back and forth with him a couple times. Nice guy.
Arvis.
So if you're looking for some guys to check out some hockey action as we move forward here, give them a look. I'm excited for the season. You know, none of us know anything relative to the general population.
Go Golden Knights.
But I'm doing my best to get into it, so we'll see how the season goes. Moving forward into the sport that I know Kurt cares about, that is the Major League Baseball playoffs. That was a rough end of the season for us, bud. Maybe not for you.
Not
you
for
kept
me.
saying you don't want them to make the playoffs.
I was rooting against my own team
And why was that?
because I want people fired.
Better draft pick.
I want people to lose their jobs. I don't care about the draft pick.
Obviously.
I want people to lose their jobs.
Has it happened yet?
Yeah, Kapler's gone. Thank goodness. Fired the manager. Next up, GM. I was hoping they'd fire both of them, but you know they love these sabermetrics dorks that sit in an office that have never played baseball that look at stats on a piece of paper and go, "This guy's going to be good."
Love it. I'm also a numbers guy.
Yeah.
Right.
I definitely trust them over, I played the game for 20 years. Now give me a job.
Oh, boy.
You can be
Baseball.
both. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, you can be both.
Look, I was devastated, okay? I actually was into the Cubs. I thought they were 93% to make the playoffs on September 9th. 93%.
That's rough.
They lost 5 out of their last 6 games. No, they lost more than that. They lost 5 out of their 6 in the last week of the season.
Yikes.
It was awful. But at least I have hope. Like you were saying this, I'd rather be a Cubs fan than a Giants fan.
Yeah, you think they're going to re-sign Bellinger? And
I don't know, but
Yeah.
we have a lot of young talent that's coming up. I'm assuming you guys have something because you always have something in your
Yeah,
farm
you're always
system
cooking.
coming up.
Yeah.
We also have a willingness to turn back over and go for it now. I think that we see that in the Cubs. We're going to push for it now.
Sweet.
So I'm excited to see what next year brings. I have hope, optimism coming off of some bad years. So you look bored as heck. You just want to go to the casino.
Yep. Casino recaps.
He hates the Cubs now.
I hate the Cubs.
He hates baseball.
I think he hates the Cubs.
I'm not sure who I hate more, baseball or the Cubs.
Crappy owner, right? Taking advantage of everybody.
Well, I'm not putting words in
Yeah.
my mouth.
Well, I mean, he wants to.
Listen.
He wants you to buy his own network.
If he would have sold me the network for $10 a month, I would have thought he was the smartest guy in the world. But instead, he sold it to Comcast.
They are.
Now,
Yeah, no.
it's over. Now it's like coming back 2 years after a divorce and being like, "Hey, that thing you wanted, I'm back. Let's do it."
Not all of us are so fickle.
Right? Fair. I
This
get
is
it.
what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
say this, and I just think you're not a baseball fan.
Yeah, go
Go Chiefs.
Athletics.
Oh, go A's. That's right.
Go
He's
A's.
he's an A's fan now.
A's all the ways.
And the Raiders fan too.
Yep, I'm all in on the Las Vegas teams.
So I wanted to sit here and talk about our playoff futures bets,
Okay.
but we are 2 days into the playoffs, and both of mine are now off the table.
2 days
So-
into the play-ins.
to the play ends. Yes, we're in the wild card round. Wednesday night, I had the Blue Jays to win the series against the Twins, and I had the Brewers to win it all.
Huh.
Ouch.
Well, that was fun.
Unless something miraculous is happening upstairs in this Diamondbacks Brewers game.
Were you just like free betting these things or what?
No, I wanted to have
just
some action on the
cash action.
playoffs. Well, one was a play from an individual. I'll leave him be. The other one,
Don't look at me.
no,
Okay.
I'm not. I'm just trying to look at each of you while I do the podcast so you both feel engaged.
Okay.
The other one was the Brewers to win the World Series. There was a really nice line on it on FanDuel, and I just wanted something.
Got it.
So I put it on. And 2 days in, they're both dead.
I'm surprised after rooting against them all year that you're like, that's the team I choose.
They were plus 2,200, and I just watched them do nothing but win while my team struggled.
Oh, that checks. Okay.
So, of course, I looked at them and I go, wow, plus 2,200. I get why. I mean, they have the Braves and they have the Dodgers.
Yeah.
I needed something weird to happen, but I like the number.
Yeah.
I wasn't betting the team. I was betting the number.
Oh, look at you getting sharp.
Is what they say, boys.
Somebody's been listening to Vicent.
All right. We got to go back to the futures.
Oh,
Kurt,
baby.
before this season started on this very podcast, you gave out to us. It might have even been during our stress test. It might
It
have
was
not,
during our stress test.
It wasn't even when we were live yet.
Never
yeah.
even saw the light of day.
So that
Yeah.
all our listeners didn't even get to hear that beautiful content.
Oh, but we'll drop it
okay.
on the Patreon.
So
Yeah.
we covered on our stress test you and your futures betting card, what you were looking at, why you were doing it, and then you put it out there on Twitter for anyone to tail along if they could, if the numbers were still there, whatever it may be, just follow along. And so what we want to do is hear how it went. First of all, Kurt, are you happy or are you sad?
A little bit of both. I've got mixed emotions. It didn't go as well as I planned. I mean, I still did well, but not as well as I anticipated.
And just to clarify, we are talking about exclusively player props,
We're talking about, win totals, player props,
win totals too. Yeah.
and futures on players and teams.
Okay.
So I've got a little bit of everything. So it went well. Currently, I'm up 7.5 units with the Astros pennant plus 610, the Dodgers World Series plus 900, and the Phillies plus 1,600 to win the World Series. So I've got some bets left. Could still cash some of those. But overall, I was kind of disappointed with how things turned out, especially the home run middles. So for anyone out there, I went ahead and placed 11 home run middles. So what I did is I went across every book for every home run total. So I looked up the unders and overs for every single player available. And I was able to find 11 middles with 3 to 4 differences in home run totals.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, I didn't middle a single one. I came so close to hitting 2. Ultimately, I broke 11 for 11 on those middles and lost 1.9 units.
So let me ask this. Mm-hmm. The middle strategy.
Yeah,
You going to go back to it next year?
absolutely.
For 3 home runs?
Anything 3 and above.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't play anything under 3.
I feel like the number was 4 when we recorded. Did you add
No.
after we recorded? It
was
was always
3.
11. You had 11 players
Yeah.
to get it.
Middle.
So 22
Yep.
bets.
22 bets
Wow.
with a difference between 3 and 4 home runs.
Yeah, interesting.
So a lot of guys finished middling by 2, either over or under,
Yeah.
and then I had 2 players miss it by 1. So that was pretty disappointing. My least disappointing was the pitcher K props because I had 14 pitcher K props and 8 of the pitchers got hurt. 8 of them.
And they were all overs.
They were all overs.
Yeah.
So that was your least profitable?
That was my least profitable.
Huh. Okay. Well, that didn't go well.
That did not go well at all. That was minus 11.5 units on that one.
I think we're going to do this on every category. Are you going to bet on pitcher prop overs next year?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely. So, the pitcher props and the hitter props and the over-unders, I know Pete likes to make fun of me for taking all overs, right? But I'm not taking overs just for the sake of taking overs, right? There's a method to the madness, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Cardi's projections. I'm looking at Fangraph's projections. They're most conservative. They're most aggressive. I'm looking at Razzball. And I'm comparing the over-unders for every book. And I'm trying to find, okay, in relation to the projections, what's more valuable, the over and the under? And most of the books that I found, the outliers, the over was the more...
Sure.
The overplay made more sense. So that's why I went with overs.
And for the record, I love you taking overs.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
one of the best parts of our
It's like-
relationship.
There's no part of that I wish you were taking unders on.
I mean,
Don't you maybe think...
And furthermore, I'm only taking overs as well, Curtis, with my SGPs.
I can't blame you. I mean,
Yeah.
you can only take overs with SGPs.
I mean,
And
if
DK.
you're going to be taking overs in MLB, what's his name? Jeff is telling me to only take long shots with my free bets. They don't offer long shot under props, do they?
No.
They stopped doing that a couple
Yeah,
years ago.
I'm pretty sure they only offer alt overs. So
I think Draymond Green might have put a fork in that.
we live in an overs world.
Team win totals over unders. I went 10-3 for plus 6 units.
Wow.
That was pretty good. My best read was a play I gave out on Twitter was the Pete Alonso versus Aaron Judge home run total matchup for the entire season. They were giving Pete Alonso plus 5.5 home runs for plus 100 on Caesars. So
Wow.
You said to us on the show that was your favorite bet going into
that
the
was
season.
my favorite bet.
What did it end up being?
He smoked him. He won by. He smoked him. I mean, Judge got hurt, which helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Alonso hit like 40-something home runs.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would have taken Judge like 56 homers to beat him or something like that, 50, 55.
Yeah. All these teams are overs too? The win
No,
totals?
no, I bet overs and unders on
Okay,
team totals.
interesting.
So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
We got unders.
We got unders. I took Padres under, Blue Jays under, Astros under. Took a lot of big-time teams under their win totals.
I mean, this is obviously the 10-3.
I can't help but notice you did pretty well on that one.
Huge.
Yeah, 10-3 is pretty good.
Hitter props 5-2, but
5
I
and
think that
2.
10-3 is the most impressive number you got there, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go 5 times the number of units on those next year
Or just every team.
and scrap everything else, Kurt.
Right, well,
Oh, Kurt, do it for every team. Guess their over under.
that sounds fun.
It sounds a lot more fun than trying to find 22 plays that are 11 middles for home runs and get
Yeah,
0.
yeah.
It sounds like we just booked a segment for next
Segment?
March.
That sounds awesome.
Banger.
Okay.
Ship it.
All right. Anything else, Kurt?
Couple big hits. Took the Twins to win the division, plus 300. Acuna, obviously MVP. We talked about that last week for plus 1,400. And then Clase, saves leader, plus 900. That was pretty good. And then my biggest, what could have been's, I did have Jorge Soler to lead the league in homers for plus 50,000. I don't know why Caesars had that at plus 50,000.
50 to 1. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
500
500 to 1?
to
Oh,
1.
my gosh.
And he was in second place at one point in the year, like
Wow.
in June, before he got hurt.
That'd been neat.
And then Yordan Alvarez was plus 1,000 to lead the league in RBIs. And the day he got hurt, he was in first place. of all baseball. So had some bad breaks, but overall it ended up being a very positive season.
Wow.
Any changes to the strategy at all?
No. I can't wait for next year.
So no learnings as far as, oh, maybe I'll tweak this or that. You're like, I nailed it this time. It just didn't break my way.
Oh, I mean, I won 7.5 units with 3 plays to go.
I agree.
I think it broke pretty well.
I totally agree.
Not as much as I'd like to, but
Sure. Well, we want to win them all.
wasn't a disappointment.
Plus 1 unit is not a disappointment. You come out, you beat the books, you beat the books. All right. So you're going to be doing the same exercise for NBA season, correct?
I'm already digging into it.
And when you're done, you're going to have that posted?
Yes, sir.
And we're going to talk about it before the season starts?
Yes, sir.
All right.
How many plays do you expect to have?
20 to 30.
Yeah. Okay. I was expecting more. I'm surprised. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, check it out at Jolly St. Vic on the Twitters when he releases it. All right. My other learnings from the last week. People, don't tail our obviously reckless bets that we make because we're going to do something fun. Because here's my promise to you. We won't do that again. All right? A squad ride lost. We have no one to blame but ourselves. That's not what the bit is, guys. The bit isn't what we think will happen because we already admit to the audience we don't know.
I thought the definition of squad ride was tailing recklessly.
Not recklessly.
Oh, okay.
Squad ride means we're all on it. The word reckless doesn't have to be in a squad ride.
Okay. That's just in my head. Got it.
We can do reckless squad rides, and we do, but we don't have to.
But we don't have to. All right. So that's your promise to us is this week's squad ride will be
Not University of Illinois.
University of Illinois. I think they're 0-5 against the spread.
Are we 3-3 now?
Yes.
That's not bad.
Real quick here, we got to do our squad ride for this week.
Wow. Squad ride. Let's do it.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. So let's go ahead and get that in. We're riding with the Undercover Capper. That's at Undercover Capper on Twitter. I'm not going to spell that one out. It's really obvious.
that's
Undercover
English.
Capper.
Yeah.
So go ahead and give him a follow on Twitter. He's rolling with Washington State UCLA over 59. You can get it minus 110 on DK. You guys know I love my West Coast football late night overs. Come on. I don't even know if this is late night or not, but I want the over action on the Pac-12.
Absolutely.
And guess what? San Diego State's not playing in this one.
Thank goodness.
So we'll actually hit it.
Yeah, the game's at 2.
2 in the morning?
No. No. Squad ride!
So you had a comment, Kurt, that you were never squad riding one of my favorite teams again, unless it was the Celtics, because the rest of my teams are trash.
That's true.
Hot take.
Celtics make the list. Very good team.
What was your biggest takeaway from the game, Juice?
Well, I got to say that honestly, my biggest letdown was the concession situation. So I dropped down at halftime to try to get myself a little sandwich. And of course, you can't have a sandwich without a Coke. And first and foremost, of course, this poor college kid who's taking my order, I was just coming in like a ball of fire. And I'm like, all right, here's my money. And it's just like, yeah, sir, you obviously know we don't take money here. So it's like, okay, I get it. And I kind of smile. He kind of smiles. So we're good. It's like, all right, I'll take the burger and give me a Coke. He's like, oh, now you're really going to be mad. We're out of Coke. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, bud. And he wasn't. I'm like, all right, Diet Coke will work. And he goes, one more thing. We don't have any ice. It's 95 degrees. And we're up there sweating, getting sunburned. And I'm like, how the F-bomb do you not have any ice back there? And he just looked at me like, I don't know what to tell you. And I'm like, I'll take the Coke, the Diet Coke.
So let me tell everyone real quick here how college football stadiums work. There's 2 sides to a football stadium. The home football side, they put up the big press box behind it. They have all the people sitting in the nice seats. And the sun is situated so that it's not going to be right on them. And they've got the backdrop. This is true in almost every stadium. The other side of the stadium's where the peasants sit. And that's where we sit, right? So the other side of the stadium's not where all the fancy people sit. If you need stuff, you don't stay on your side of the stadium to get it.
Okay.
If you walk to the other side of the stadium, they don't run out of stuff over there.
now
Also,
you tell me.
they don't need 1 million bottles of water because they're sitting in the shade. So all you got to do is just do that half loop to the other side of the stadium, especially since you guys didn't actually want to be watching the game anymore, and I don't blame you. Just go over there and get it from the good side.
Well, in
Man,
2 years
I'm
now,
not that
I'll-
smart.
Yeah, I'll totally nail this.
Well, now everyone knows. Okay, so enough of that. It was, again, you guys are going to get real used to this audience. Us getting let down. It's just the way it is. Anyway, yeah, I mean, forget it. I don't even want to talk about it. I got a couple notes here. Oh, Oklahoma and Texas played this weekend. Whatever. Notre Dame, they play. Okay. Illinois stinks. My teams stink. We're going to keep talking college football. I'm going to have 30-plus bets on college football. Oh, it's going to be hard this weekend. I might still get there before I leave on vacation on Friday. We'll see. So, all that's great. Do we care about college football? Maybe. Let's talk about NFL because I'm tired of this. Kurt,
Pete,
do you think Patrick Mahomes slid at the 2 to avoid his own team covering the spread?
man, that's a loaded question. I've been thinking about this. Okay, so here's my problem. Okay, so I was someone who had the Chiefs minus 7.5. So
Of course.
I'm watching this game, right? And on that specific play, Mahomes takes the ball in the shotgun. And he's going to, like, his first instinct is to throw the ball into the end zone. And this is my problem with it. So his first instinct is to score a touchdown. And then when he sees that, nobody's on the left-hand side of the field, so I can just roll right in, he takes the slide right after the first down marker. Now, do I think he did it on purpose? No, obviously. Didn't Brian Westbrook do this a couple years ago?
Well, he absolutely did it on purpose.
You think he did it on purpose?
Slide down, yeah.
He didn't do it.
He didn't do
to
it in relation to
manipulate
the spread, right?
Yes.
He did it to win the game.
Yes. He
I
did it
guess
to win the game.
I was more disappointed than I'm not gonna tin hat conspiracy like the Sean McVay situation, which he obviously kicked a field goal to cover the spread. But
This is why you should re-listen to the podcasts after we air them. You were on this podcast 2 weeks ago, and the two of us were calling him crazy for thinking he kicked it because of the spread. Both you and I were saying he's crazy for kicking it.
yeah, he was crazy. He
That he
shouldn't.
wasn't doing... No, that RJ was crazy for thinking he
thinking
kicked it
it.
because of the spread.
Oh, I totally changed my mind.
Oh, okay.
I totally changed my mind.
Awesome.
Well, first let's start there. So now you do think Michelle?
Absolutely. After I read yeah, absolutely.
And that's fine. I
He
don't
was
know.
trying to cover the spread.
I wasn't.
He was-
I think you're crazy for thinking that it wasn't the spread.
Yeah,
I definitely
we-
think he was trying to get close. Doesn't matter.
Yep.
We're moving on. You get back to this.
Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes. So here's my problem. We've been seeing this for 15 years now. This
Yeah.
isn't new. This
Yeah.
is he didn't want to score a touchdown. His most maximal optimal play is sliding down between the first down and the
course.
touchdown. That's what
Now, it was weird because there was just a couple yards, right?
It was a yard and it was wide open.
That
But
makes
he-
it look weird.
but it was better for them as a team for him to go down.
Yep. They won the game. They could not have lost at that point.
I mean, they weren't going to lose if he scored a touchdown anyways.
But you give the other team
It's
the
not
ball.
mathematically impossible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's mathematically impossible if he slides. And that's what they always do.
Yep.
And that's why I find this whole thing so weird.
And I think it might be worse than asking for refunds.
I'm not asking for a refund. That's absolutely insane.
No, I mean, as far as getting on Twitter afterwards. That's what I mean.
Did people ask for refunds?
No. But everybody's complaining because the league's rigged.
Because Tin Hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It's not rigged. But
Right.
Is the idea of it being rigged more or less crazy than the Bears taking 2 quarterbacks in the top 5?
less crazy. I would go. I
Wow,
would put on
take.
tinfoil hat that the NFL is rigged, and go that route over the Bears taking 2 quarterbacks with the first and second pick in the draft.
I hope Ryan Pace is like, I need a new idea. Let me go
Oh,
look on the internet.
Pete's getting warmed up because he's about ready to unload. Like, this is the first and second pick on the quarterback's the greatest idea of all time.
It's unbelievable. I think the Bears might be the most interesting NFL team to talk about on a week-to-week basis. I feel like I would want to talk about this even if I wasn't a Bears fan. Bears-Broncos was the best game of the week, unfortunately.
Well, it was fun for a while.
If you were a casual...
It was not fun for him
No, it was...
or you.
Kurt, unbiased perspective, looking at all those games, what was the best game of the weekend? Was it not the team down 21 coming back to win in dramatic fashion over the Bears?
Yeah, definitely.
That was a good game. I mean, seeing Washington take Philly to overtime was great.
Yeah, I don't think I watched that because it was the same time as the Bears.
Yeah, it was the same time as the Bears.
You could lean in for us here, bud.
What, you can't hear me?
I mean, lean into the bit.
Oh.
No.
Oh, you want me to pretend like the Bears and Broncos game was a good game? I mean, it was two of the most dog shit teams in the NFL playing each other. Like, nobody wants to watch that crap but you guys and Broncos fans.
That's hilarious.
Like, your quarterbacks stink, your wide receivers stink, your offensive line stink, your defense stinks, your head coaches are morons. Who wants to watch that game? Honestly. And you want me to lean into this bit like, it was an entertaining game to watch two terrible teams play each other.
It was the most fun I
Right?
had watching football all year, Kurt.
It was the best game of the week.
Because it
I
was
think you
a game
convinced
that
me.
you were in it.
Yeah.
Your team blew a 21-point lead.
And that's amazing.
That's how terrible that game was. And that's how terrible those two teams are. One team is bad enough to go up by 21 or to let a team go up by 21. And then also bad enough to blow a 21-point lead.
Kurt, that game was so great. It left me completely numb.
Nobody.
I was numb.
I was
You were
totally
numb.
End of the game, I couldn't. It was such a good game. I couldn't talk to anyone. I didn't want to look anyone in the eyes.
It's like, listen, I'm going to go sit over there and look at my phone and do SGPs. Don't bother me.
I sat here on this very podcast last week and said the Bears couldn't score 28 against the Illini.
Exactly.
They scored exactly 28.
Yes.
So even in trying to make myself look good, I made myself look bad. Everything about it was bad. Michelle, here's your congrats.
JuJu, JuJu.
The Broncos.
JuJu.
JuJu.
Speaking of Billy and Michelle. Hey guys, thanks for letting us finally get a close-up look at those weekly tavern parlay cards. And that came up with a fun idea for us. We want to go ahead and take a look and see if we can make some money off of that.
Well, can we give the audience a backstory here about the parlay cards, right? So, like, tiddlywinks, parlay cards, back of the bar, under the table, shady lines, right? That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, we are talking about parlay
We're not talking about anything official, anything book related.
These are not government regulated markets. These are, you give a dude X amount of money and here's how it works. You get a card and you pick anywhere from 3 to 10 games against the spread. You pick 3, it pays 5 to 1. Pick 4, 9 to 1. Pick 5, 16 to 1. All the way up to 10 to 1, 150 to 1. Now, you may be doing the math in your head right now thinking, I pick 3 games against the spread. What are my odds of getting 5 to 1? Okay, not great. Here's the trick. The lines are stale. They're the numbers that open, right?
Give or take.
They're the numbers that open. If a line moves by 7+ points, it just gets dropped from the card. But you're basically playing alt lines if you do it right. So the question becomes, can I build a 3-pick parlay card using alt lines before I turn it in that'll get me much better than 5 to 1 odds?
That is correct. That's the challenge.
So Juice here crunched the numbers and, well, is it a viable thing?
All right. So there's a lot to take in here. But so at face value, you're betting 3 minus 110s, you would get paid 6 to 1. So, all right, we're already behind the 8 ball. But as you said, the lines are wrong. So the lines are also fishy. So they're all whole numbers.
There's no 0.5s?
They're all whole numbers.
Okay.
And they're primarily key numbers.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. That's weird, right?
Right.
So it's 10, 7, 6, 3, 2, pick 'em.
Okay.
I think is actually every NFL line on this card. Now you might say, oh, that's weird. Why would we do that? Well, because ties loose. Okay. So now not only do we have to calculate the alt line from the line movement from Monday to Friday when you go to the tavern and get one, you also have to account for a half a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we need 3 alt lines that are also alt lines that are in the 140, 130 range at the time we're at the tavern getting the card in order to have a mathematical edge.
Minus 130 to minus 140. So if we bet 3 minus 135s, do you have an approximation of what that gets us to?
Not off the top of my head, but we could get a calculator out. Yeah.
Did you look at this from a fair value perspective, like trying to remove the vigorish, or
Nope.
are you just trying to get it under plus
Fair
500?
odds of a parlay. So, yeah, I guess to your point, then we'd have to devig, which of course is going to tell us this is a crazy idea. But, so, all right, real world, one example. Last week, you could have had Baltimore +3, closed -2. Minnesota -3, closed 4, 5.5. And New York Jets +10, closed -7.5, 8.5. And you would have won.
You would have won.
Now, is there a flip side to that?
You usually lose.
No. A flip side to did you go and see? Okay, did one team on
Well,
the finish
if you had
up?
taken the Browns and you had taken whoever Minnesota,
I guess what
played.
you're asking is, did some big line move and
Yes.
that team still lost?
Yes.
Yeah. That did not recognize that on the NFL card last week. But the other thing is, I didn't look at any of the totals, and I didn't look at any of the college football stuff.
They do it for college football too.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. And we know those move a lot more.
You're right.
So you got some choices.
So when do these come out?
I don't know, Monday?
Monday?
Just guessing. I have no idea.
Well, they're going to move a lot, right? We could get some serious line action. When do they have to be turned in?
To the average person, is this a total ripoff?
Absolutely.
Total ripoff to the average person.
Gambling
Yeah.
is a total ripoff to the average person.
This is a bigger ripoff than the traditional books to a less than
All right, let's say you're
savvy
getting
better.
Let's say you're getting a fair line, and you're just like, yeah, I'm going to pick these games. It's a worse line than if you would. It's a worse payout than if you would just go bet on it.
Right. But they acknowledge probably in there that they know they're giving you lines that can move in your favor one way or another. So
Yeah, I mean
that
that's
factors in. Okay.
It's kind of like a Taco Tuesday.
Do you think we can beat it?
Yes,
I agree.
Should we try?
I'm going to try.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm in.
So let's run down a plan real quick because we got a couple minutes left.
Okay.
So you're gonna try this, right? So I imagine you're gonna get a card and put a couple bucks, right?
Mm-hmm.
$1 or $2.
What?
Whoa.
What are we for?
I mean, I just had.
You're gonna
I
Well,
know,
he's trying to hit the 150.
yeah, I know how this man operates. Okay.
wanna do a-
Max bet is $5
Oh man.
No way.
for him.
Why do you think he's a small time better?
I don't
His
think
unit
he's a small
size is
time-
bigger
I
than all
think-
of us.
I think he knows this is a scam, so he's.
I
he's
just
gonna
said
put
RJ's
the five.
unit size is bigger than all of us.
Maybe blush a little. JuJu.
So
What I'm saying.
you're gonna test it.
What I'm saying is, I think you could acquire with a pencil and some know-how a mathematical edge on these.
And
I
you're
think-
gonna test
And I think if you did it twice, they'd say stop taking his money and put
You
it in
think
the
that
envelope.
you think that no, because it's not guaranteed to hit. Just because it might
Sure.
take them a while to figure
Sure.
out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Let's say, yeah, right. If I put an exceptional amount of money on one and it hit, they'd probably tell the bartender, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
do you think it'd be more advantageous for us to same picks, do our separate sheets at different bars?
You
Or
tried to take them down from.
or pool all our money together and just make one big bet?
How about,
Or
how
we
about
could
we just try it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like normal people.
Hey,
like get a card
I'm
and make
into it.
picks.
Billy,
I'm into it.
Billy, we're in, bud.
Yeah. How do we get those parlay cards?
Yeah, well, apparently you got to go to a tavern on Friday.
Well,
Wait,
Jost-
I thought you get them on Monday.
Well, the tavern does, right?
Oh, but okay, but we can't go in there on Monday and be like, hey,
Well, maybe. I don't know. I haven't done this since I was a teenager.
all right, so
before the internet.
we gotta talk. We gotta
so
talk.
we got to go in on Friday.
We gotta talk to Billy too.
Yeah.
I just want to say to Jost K Door 73374, it sounds like I might be starting to put gambling ahead of my kids on Fridays, so that I can go to a tavern.
Well,
and bet.
We'll do the lunch break special. We'll go get our free hot dogs at the Paradise, and then we'll go play some craps or some blackjack, and then we'll stop by the tavern, and then we'll have supper, and then we'll call and see if the kids are in bed, and then we'll go home.
Make sure they did the dishes, clean the bathroom, mop the floors.
All right. We wish you the best of luck and good juju to all your bets, ladies and gentlemen.
Good juju.
We're going to call it there for the day. We out. Have a great week. We'll talk soon.